This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. What is going on, everyone? My name is Jason, and this is the Pixel 5a 1 month later. What is going on, everyone? Jason here, and it's officially been 1 month since I got my hands on Google's newest phone, the Pixel 5a, and no lie, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. Not to say that I had low expectations, but considering the phone's pretty dated design and similarities with the Pixel 5 that was launched about a year ago, I wasn't exactly exploding with anticipation when I first got this device into my hands. But much like Pixels before it, Google did a very good job making their latest iteration a value-packed phone that minimalists will very much enjoy. So today I want to go over what my favorite and not so favorite parts of the Pixel 5a are, now that I've been using the phone for a month, to ultimately help give you a better sense if this phone is the right one for you. Now before we get into the review, in case you're new here, I'm Jason. I would really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And in case you're a tech junkie like me, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with the latest reviews. And before I get into my thoughts, with the newly designed Pixel 6 release right around the corner, is the Pixel 5a still a phone that you consider going with? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Okay, let's start off with the things about the Google Pixel 5a that I love the most, and let's start off with the larger size. Full transparency, I didn't think I'd appreciate this that much, considering that I've been thoroughly enjoying the more compact size of the Pixel 5, but no lie, having this larger display has been super nice. Content consumption is more immersive and enjoyable, especially for watching videos and playing games, and there's no diminishment in resolution or display quality with this increase in size. You still get a solid full HD OLED panel that looks pretty spectacular when viewing HDR content, especially with those inky blacks that you're afforded. It makes for a really good viewing experience. Gaming is particularly more engaging on this larger panel as well. I don't game too often, but having more screen real estate makes playing mobile games more immersive and easier to navigate, especially for using on-screen controls. And the real win here is that from a design and ergonomic standpoint, the increase in size doesn't impede with the phone's overall comfort in the hand. It's still a device that you can comfortably use one-handed for most actions, and navigating around the UI is still very easy to do. You can access all the buttons without any uncomfortable reaching, and it's not going to add an inordinate amount of bulk to a pocket or a bag. And to me, the larger dimensions mirror the more industry norm when it comes to size, and I'm actually really glad Google went this direction with making the Pixel 5a bigger, rather than having it the same size as the 5. It helps differentiate the phones a bit, as it does provide a pretty noticeable difference in user experience. Now before we get into the second thing that I love about the Pixel 5a, I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot is one of the industry-leading companies when it comes to providing ergonomic office supplies, supporting millions of people every day when it comes to their productivity, health, and well-being. They're super well known for their fully electronic sit-stand desks, and this absolute stunner that you see here is the FlexiSpot Kona Pro Bamboo Standing Desk EC8, and man, it's awesome. It has this gorgeous bamboo desktop that not only looks incredible, it's actually sourced in a very eco-friendly manner, as FlexiSpot is a company committed to the use of sustainable and renewable resources whenever possible. It has this beautiful lacquer finish that brings out the natural beauty of the wood, while also providing protection against nicks and scratches and making the desktop easy to clean. But the real star of the show on the Kona Pro are the EC8 legs that gives the desk the ability to change its height. These legs can hold up to 275 pounds with no problem, and can adjust the height of the desk to over 49 inches, accommodating even the tallest of folks. It also has pro features like anti-collision detection, so you don't end up crushing anything that might be in the way, and a super useful child lock feature. It's all controlled by an easy-to-use keypad that also gives you the ability to lock into settings for quick sit-stand adjustment, and the motors on these legs are buttery smooth and whisper quiet. Setup is extremely easy to do. I was able to get this desk put together very quickly without any difficulty, and this has been particularly great for me because as a creator I do sit often, and edit on one video on average takes me about 4 to 5 hours at least, so having the ability to stand up at work has been so helpful for my back and overall circulation. I love that it's easy to use, and I love that the desk looks so nice. It's a fantastic marriage between utility and design, and that's something that could be said about all the desks that they offer. If you guys are interested in checking out FlexiSpot, it's FlexiSpot's Standiversary on September 27th, a great time for you to snag up one of these life-changing desks, as you'll get special VIP discounts up to 40% off using the links in the description below. There's also going to be a spin and win activity on FlexiSpot's website between September 20th and the 30th that'll have a 100% win rate, so be sure to check it out. Make no compromises when it comes to your productivity and your health. Check out FlexiSpot today. Okay, the second component that I love about the Pixel 5a 1 month later is something that I feel is undervalued in most smartphones, and that's the battery life. And to put it simply, the battery life on the Pixel 5a is exemplary. And that's saying a lot because it had a pretty high bar to cross given the wide praise of the battery life on the Pixel 5. Google was able to put in a pretty mammoth 4,680 mAh battery, and I've pushed this to the point where I'm almost actively trying to drain the battery in one day, playing a ton of games and watching a ton of YouTube, and man, I just couldn't do it. With moderate use, you could easily get through a day and a half of screen on time, which is pretty incredible. Plus, the standby time on this battery has also been outstanding. It can literally go days while asleep, a great improvement when compared to the previous Pixels of the past. Now yes, you don't get wireless charging, but you do get fast charging with the cable and charging brick in the box. And overall, the strong battery life on the Pixel 5a makes it so you almost never have battery anxiety throughout the day, and makes for such a useful and appreciated feature, especially if you're a power user. And the last thing that I love about the Pixel 5a is gonna be something that ironically might come off a bit boring here, and that's the camera quality. And the reason why I put it that way is because Google hasn't really done much with the camera since leapfrogging everyone else back when they dropped the Pixel 2, but I still think it produces some of the best, if not the best still images on any smartphone right now. That says a ton about just how good Google's image processing power is here. I mean, it's been years without really any major upgrades or changes, and it still impresses me to this day. The pictures are tack sharp, you get very full and vibrant colors, you get that nice contrasty look that Google is known for, and pretty stellar dynamic range. I don't think there's another phone out there that makes getting these type of high quality pictures so easy to do. There's no editing in post, and even when I'm taking pictures in tough environments for cameras, the Pixel 5a consistently finds a way to deliver beautiful looking still images. But the camera oddly also brings me to the first thing that I don't like about the Pixel 5a 1 month later, and that's the video quality. It's a very similar story in it that the 5a has very similar video shooting capability to the Pixels that came before it. The unfortunate thing about that though is that it's never really been that good. I know it's not going to be the biggest deal for some, but I don't like that the Pixel 5a can't shoot 4K video in 24 frames per second. It's my preferred frame rate for shooting day-to-day videos of a mobile device, and the overall quality of the 4K video is really nothing to write home about. You don't get the best color reproduction, the dynamic range isn't that great, and especially for wider shots, the quality starts to take a noticeable dive. Now I think there's two things that makes the Pixel 5a's video shooting capability more disappointing. Number one, shooting videos on your phones has become much more important these days, with platforms like Instagram and TikTok being so popular, so having a not so great phone for video kinda sucks. Number two, it's a pretty wide disparity from the amazing still image quality this phone can produce, and I think that dissonance makes this weakness more pronounced. But the last and probably the biggest thing about the Pixel 5a that I dislike the most is the display's refresh rate. Google finally got it right and implemented a 90Hz variable refresh rate with the Pixel 5, and that feature provided for a much smoother and elegant user experience. And basically every new phone that has come out in the past year now has a high refresh rate display because it has such a big impact on user enjoyability, and I was super hopeful that it would make its way to the Pixel 5a. But alas, Google made a decision to go with the standard 60Hz refresh rate, and for someone like me who's already transitioned to using the newer displays, it's been a struggle to go back. Now I know there's going to be some people in the comments saying that there's no noticeable difference between a 60 or a 90 or even a 120Hz refresh rate. Respectfully, I disagree and think it's one of the most noticeable differences you can identify in a phone almost right away. Sure, there are some phones out there that claim a high refresh rate but really botch the implementation. Pixel 4, I'm looking at you. But if you're comparing the Pixel 5a's UI navigation experience to a phone that has a proper high refresh rate display, there is a big difference. But the main thing to keep in mind is this: if you haven't experienced a phone with a high refresh rate display yet, then this is going to be a non-issue for you. The Pixel 5a will look and feel the same way as all the other devices you've been using up to this point, but if you've already made the transition like I have, it's gonna be tough. It's one of those features that you can't undo after you've grown accustomed to it. It's kind of like going to 3G to an LTE connection. Trust me, going back to 3G is not something you're going to be thrilled about. Now before I come off too nitpicky, I do recognize that the dislikes that I have are pretty warranted given the price tag on this phone. The Pixel 5a comes in at a very budget-friendly $449, and at that price I can understand why there has to be some concessions, and for the most part, I could likely live with them and be totally happy. No doubt you get a ton of outstanding value with this phone, and it's been pretty great to use over the past month. But hey, that's just me, and I'm curious to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the Pixel 5a now that it's been out for a month? Let me know what you guys like and dislike the most in the comments below, and whether or not you'd actually buy one. Okay, that's about it for this review. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you guys found it useful. Again, I'd really appreciate it. Check out these other reviews if you're looking for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.